So staff is basically all the other professionals other than the partners. Partners cannot be called as staff, but there'll be many other professionals working in the audit firm. So they'll be called as the staff. Okay, then. Now we'll begin with the first one, that is leadership responsibility for the quality on audit. Who will be responsible for the quality to be maintained? Very simple. Imagine if you are going for the purpose of audit and you are the engagement partner. You are taking a team along with you. So who's the leader there? Obviously the engagement partner. So engagement partner will be ensuring that everything is done as per the relevant requirements, and he will ensure that the work is done with utmost quality. So the entire engagement team will have the engagement partner to be the leader. Correct? So this standard is telling the auditor, telling the engagement partner, you have the leadership responsibility that you have to guide your team correctly so that they are doing the audit as per the relevant standards. Correct? So here they say, the engagement partner shall take the responsibility for overall quality on each audit engagement to which the partner is assigned. Each audit engagement means, in my example, Reliance is one audit engagement, and the partner who is assigned for Reliance, he will be responsible or he'll be the leader for the audit which is performed there. Correct? Then, the actions of the engagement partner and appropriate messages to the members of the engagement team in taking responsibility for overall quality on each audit emphasizes. That means when I'm telling you're a leader, what I'm trying to tell on what we are emphasizing this. You have to tell everybody regarding the importance of the audit quality. That is performing work that complies with professional standards and legal and regulatory requirement. I told you when you talk about quality, quality has two things. One, you have to perform the audit based on the professional standards, other legal and regulatory requirement. Along with that, you have to come up with the appropriate audit report. If these two things are done, only then your audit is of quality. Correct? So give them the importance of how you have to perform the work. Comply with the firm's quality control policy and procedures. Correct? Policies are meant for compliance. Issue auditors report that are appropriate in the circumstances. Very important for the quality. The engagement team's ability to raise concerns without fear of reprisal. That means what I told you, that whenever difficulty arises, they should feel free to communicate with the engagement partner. Correct? So that should be communicated to them that, look, whenever situations come where the engagement team member is not able to resolve it, he should feel free to come and communicate about that to whom? The engagement partner. Correct? Then, the fact that quality is essential in the performing of the audit engagement. So what they're telling is the engagement partner is a leader and he should take the responsibility of the entire engagement team's work. And he should also tell the engagement team the importance about two things. See, first of all, he should emphasize on two things. One, importance of how the work is to be performed, and also tell them, look, quality is most essential for the purpose of our audit. So these two things they have to foster on them so that they'll be knowing that, yes, we have to do our work with utmost quality. Correct? And point number 1 and point 3, when it comes to italic A, if you can see A there, 1 and 3 point becomes most important because that is actually the meaning of the word quality. Correct? Then, second, you have to be very concerned with your relevant ethical requirements. So you are the partner of a firm. So you have to be very careful that when you're doing the audit, you should see that ethical standards are maintained. Independence is there. Okay, if there is any threat to independence, you have to take all the safeguarding measures. You have to eliminate the threat. And if you're not able to eliminate the threat, see that you bring the threat at least to acceptable lower level. At least that much has to be done. So ethical requirement is also to be checked by the engagement partner. So he is responsible to ensure that the ethical requirements are maintained. Correct? Then, throughout the audit engagement, the engagement partner shall remain alert for non-compliance with relevant ethical requirement with the members of the engagement team. That means if suppose engagement team has 10 members, every single member should be free of bias. Everybody should be independent. Correct? There should not be at any point in time that it gets influenced. So throughout the audit, as in, suppose if one of the engagement team members, maybe one of the relative becomes a director now, the KMP. So now during that course of audit, when he's becoming a director, do you think your member is now going to be that independent that he was earlier? No. So in that case, you have to eliminate this. So either you replace him from the team, or if you think that cannot happen and anyhow it will be affected, then you have to take all the other measures. Sometimes even withdrawing becomes important. Correct? So throughout the audit, you have to be very careful that nothing is happening which is impacting the independence of any one also engagement team member. Correct? Then, see, not only the engagement partner, but even the members. Everybody's independence becomes very important because ultimately audit is carried by whom? The members also. Correct? The engagement team members. If matters come to engagement partner's attention that indicate the members of the engagement team has not complied with the relevant ethical requirement, the engagement partner, in consultation with others in the firm, shall determine the appropriate action. Now tell me, engagement partner, to whom will he go and talk to? When he has a problem, with whom will he talk? Suppose there are 5 partners. I am the partner who's into the audit of Reliance. If there is something I have come across which I'm not able to resolve, obviously I'll go to whom? All the remaining 4 partners. Because ultimately they are my partners. I have to go and talk to them and resolve the matter. So I will go and talk to others in the audit firm and then decide what has to be done. Should we remove him from the engagement team? Should we withdraw the engagement? What appropriate would be the action there? So depending upon that, we are going to take the decision. Then independence, I told you, independence is at most required. When you talk about ethical requirement, I also tell the importance of independence, because first ethical requirement is in the independence, integrity, objectivity, confidentiality, all of that comes the second part of it. Correct? So here you have to see that there is no threat to independence. And if there is a threat, you evaluate that and see that you eliminate the threat, or if you're not able to eliminate, at least you bring it down to an acceptable lower level. Then acceptance and continuance of client relationship and the audit engagement. That means what? The engagement partner should also be very careful that suppose it's a recurring audit, then you have to see that next year when you're accepting the audit, see whether it is really correct way of accepting it or not. That means even if you accept this year, is the quality going to be maintained? So there could be a possibility that last year when you were doing the audit, they were not giving you required information. They were not giving you the relevant information that you're asking for, the documentation they were not giving. So don't you think this year you will realize that no, we'll not do the work because we'll not be able to maintain our quality which is required because they don't support with the information that we require. So this matter you'll take into consideration and you'll decide, no, we'll not take up the audit. So this also will be the responsibility of the engagement partner to decide whether to continue with the engagement or not. If it is a new, if it's a new one, you'll decide of acceptance. If it is continuation recurring, you'll think about continuation. Always continue only when you realize that you'll be able to maintain your quality. So if your quality procedures, policies, if you're able to adhere to, only then accept it, otherwise do not accept it. The engagement partner shall be satisfied that appropriate procedures regarding the acceptance and continuation of client relationship and audit engagement have been followed. See, there could be a possibility that, suppose you have a quality policy such that, you know, for every assignment, you require minimum 10 engagement team members going on, or maybe depending upon the size, you'll decide how many members you require in the engagement team. Now you have you're approached by a new client and you are deciding about acceptance. Here you realize that you do not have enough resources only to accept the engagement. That means if I take up the client, I require so many days to complete the audit. So many of my staff members should be engaged in the audit. And if you realize you really don't have that much staff available with you at that point of time, or you do not have time only to give that much to that particular assignment, then in that case, don't you think you are going to now tell, no, will not accept the engagement? Yes. So this is also your quality policy. So you will be looking into all the factors and then decide whether you want to accept it or you don't want to accept it. When you accept, you have to be very sure that you have enough resources, whether time, whether cost, whether employees, whether staff, whatever you talk about, you should have enough resources. Only then take up the engagement, because quality is ultimately required. You cannot compromise on a quality only because you want to take extra work and do it anyway. No. So you should maintain the quality standard, because of which when you accept or you continue a client relationship, you should see whether you have adequate resources or not. Correct? Then if the engagement partner, okay, now what has happened is they're telling one more thing here is, suppose today you accepted the engagement and you started doing the work. But after doing the engagement, after you started doing the work, you realize that you got an information wherein you realize that this information, if you were aware of earlier, you would have not taken only the engagement. Okay, or assignment would have not taken. Maybe you got to know about some information regarding fraud, which is already prevailing in the market, but that time you were not aware of it. So there's already a news about the client in the market, but you are not aware of it. Or maybe last year the client was engaged into some fraud activities. Maybe they have not provided the auditor with all information and all required. So there could be some information which if you would be knowing earlier, you would have actually not taken it. Correct? So in that case, what happens? You will also get an opportunity now that you will discuss, this matter is come to you. So I am one of the partners, so I cannot decide to withdraw or not. So I will go to all the other partners, tell them, look, this is a situation that we have encountered. I believe that we either have to, you know, take some alternative course of action, or we need to withdraw the engagement. See, I'm only one partner. I cannot take decision by myself. So even if I'm deciding of maintaining the quality, I have to communicate this matter to all the other members of the firm. And then they discuss together and then decide whether we have to withdraw from the engagement or not. So that also would be a point. Okay. So they say if the engagement partner obtains any information that if you would have known earlier, you would have declined the audit engagement, the engagement partner should communicate this information promptly to the firm so that the firm and the engagement partner can take the necessary action. See, throughout the audit, we always try to communicate with TCWG. Here, the concept of TCWG will not come because all of this is connected to the audit firm. We are talking about the controls of the audit firm, nothing to do with the client. So whatever we are encountering now is connected to our firm. So whatever we want to take decision, we have to talk to other people of our firm. So you have to communicate with whom? The members of the audit firm. Correct? So be very particular here. Then next one, assignment of the engagement team. Obviously, tell me when you are a leader, okay, engagement partner is a leader to maintain the quality. Don't you think he's going to assign such people in the engagement team who really have the competence, the capability, the skill of doing the audit, or he will appoint anybody there? No. Also, he's responsible to have such a team who will be able to perform the audit effectively, who has the required knowledge, the required skill, the competence to perform the audit. So the engagement partner is responsible to come up with such engagement team who is having enough competence to perform the relevant audit. Correct? So they say the engagement partner shall be satisfied that the engagement team and any auditor's expert who are not the part of the engagement team collectively have the appropriate competence and the capability. For two things, because you have to maintain quality. And what is quality? Perform the audit engagement in accordance with the professional standards and other statutory requirement and to come up with the appropriate audit report. I told you when you talk about quality, two things. One, you have to be able to comply with all the standards. Second, you should be able to give an appropriate report. If these two things are able to, that means quality of maintained. So you have to choose such a team who is going to be able to maintain the quality. So both the things have to be confirmed. Correct? So first part, what we studied, that engagement team is responsible to be the leader and enforce all the leadership requirements. That means give them the importance of maintaining quality. And what do you mean by the term quality also explain to the team members. Then see that all the ethical requirements are adhered to, integrity, objectivity, all of that. Independence, be very particular. If there is a threat, you also have to take all the steps to eliminate. If not, you also think about withdrawing it. When you accept or decide to continue, see that you have enough adequate resources. And even after you accept, you come across anything which you feel, no, if I would have known it earlier, I would have withdrawn. Go and talk to the other members of the firm and decide what should be the action taken. When you assign the engagement team members, see that they have enough competence and the capability to actually perform the work. Otherwise, do not do the audit. Correct? Then, moving on to the next one, engagement performance. So now we have delegated, we have seen that you are the leader. We have seen that you have enforced ethical requirements. Independence is there. Okay, you have chosen a proper engagement team. Now comes to the field work, engagement performance. So now tell me, who will actually be guiding the entire team? Obviously, the engagement partner. So look at the first one. The engagement partner will be directing, supervising, direction, supervision, and performance. That means everything will be doing it, the engagement partner. So he'll be giving proper directions, proper supervision, and he'll be performing the audit engagement in compliance with the professional standards, legal and regulatory requirements. Along with that, he'll also see that the audit report is properly issued. See, these 2 points are repeated everywhere because that is the meaning of the word quality. Correct? Then, review. Now, the engagement team, suppose if there are 10 members, so every 10 person, all the 10 people of the engagement team are going to do different areas. Some will be checking assets, some will check liability, some will check expense, some will check income, some will be inspecting some documents, some will check the internal controls. So everybody is going to do their work. So don't you think when they're doing their work, you cannot 100% rely on what they are doing. So this engagement partner will also be responsible to review the work of theirs. That means if suppose you are one of the member and you have been doing the verification of assets. So only because you're verified, will I 100% rely or will I review your work? I should review your work, correct? Because I am the partner, I am ultimately responsible for that assignment. So your work as a team member should be reviewed by whom? The engagement partner. So that also responsibility is given. So that to maintain the quality, don't just let them do everything. The auditor has to review their work, correct? Then consultation, as I already explained. Whenever the engagement team members come across any difficult situation where they're not able to resolve, like for example, if they come across a significant related party transaction, if they come across a significant factor indicating risk, if they come across any area which is having high assessed risk of material misstatement. So in that case, they cannot decide everything by themselves. So what they will do? They will decide that let us go and talk to the engagement partner and resolve it. So engagement partner will have a responsibility to address to their issues and also resolve the matter to maintain the quality of the audit. Correct? Then, engagement quality control review. This is the most important part of the topic. Correct? Quality control review, what I explained. This quality control review, by far what you saw, engagement partner was reviewing the engagement team performance. Now the point is, engagement team and the engagement partner has done the audit. Now this report prepared or this work performed, which is available through the documentation, will now be checked by some other partner or by some third party to see whether these people have actually done the work correctly or not. Correct? So two processes. First, you go to Reliance, you do the audit. So this engagement partner will be doing the review of all the work of this engagement team members. Now, audit is completed, documentation ready, report is ready. But you cannot give to the members because it's a listed entity and you will have another person coming and doing your checking. So now what will happen is this quality control reviewer could be either one of the partners. Out of the 5 partners, we have one of the partners who would come and check. Or some third party could be there who will come and do the quality control review. So this will be the quality control review. So now you don't have a time machine, so you cannot go back and see how the work was done. So obviously, I've already told you, documentation is a proof that you have done the work like that. So these people will review the documentation prepared by you, and then they will see whether you have maintained the quality. Quality means what? You have done the audit as per the standards on auditing, all the professional requirements, all the statutory requirements, and you have given an appropriate audit report, correct? So they will review the documents. So when they review the document, in the document, all the significant findings will be there. All evidences obtained will be there. Conclusions drawn will be there. Correct? So they will also see what is the proposed auditor's report that you have already kept ready, whether what report opinion is there and what evidences you have obtained, they're matching or not. So all of this they will check. And once they confirm everything is correct, only then you'll be allowed to give this report to the members. Correct? And this is the common factor or compulsory in the case of listed entity. So for the audit of financial statement of listed entities and those audit engagement for which quality control review is required, the engagement partner shall determine that engagement quality control reviewer has been appointed. So if I'm the engagement partner, it is my duty to go and see whether quality control reviewer is appointed. Second, I have to discuss all the significant matters to the quality control reviewer. And I cannot date the auditor's report until and unless the quality control review is completed. I told you I cannot give the report to the required people, okay, unless and until the quality control review is over. So can I date my audit report? No. So I cannot date the audit report until the completion of the quality control review. See, the standard is telling very clearly, all of this is the duty of engagement partner only. Whether quality control reviewer is appointed or not, also will check quality engagement part. Correct? Then. Now, the engagement quality control reviewer shall evaluate. You only think, right? Suppose I've done the audit. You are the quality control reviewer. You only have an imagination. You have come to me telling me you have to check my work. So you'll ask me what? Show documentation. So given the documentation, you imagine you're reading the papers. So you will see all the significant findings. You'll ask me. Then you see how these people have prepared the report. So let us see the report. Okay, opinion is unmodified. So unmodified opinion and the evidences, are they really matching? Correct? So then you'll discuss some matters with me if you have a doubt somewhere. Then you'll see what evidences I've obtained, whether they're sufficient, appropriate or not. So that is what you'll be doing because you have come to review my work. And my work you'll be reviewing through the documentation available. So in that imagination, you see the answer now. Discuss significant matter with the engagement member, the partner. Obviously, whatever matter you see in the documentation, ask me. Review the financial statement and the audit report. Correct. Review selected audit documentation. Obviously, all 100 papers you'll not see. Few selected items you'll check, all the important areas, and you'll check them. Conclusion reached in the formulating of the auditor's report. So you will see sufficient appropriate audit evidence obtained. So based on that report, you will give. Correct? Whether the report is matching or not matching. Correct? Then. Okay, so you should see the conclusion which I've reached. Okay, and when you look at the documentation, you see the information. So there are audit evidences. So based on the audit evidence, what conclusion the engagement partner has come to and the report that he has issued, or they are matching or not. So that will be the work of the quality control reviewer. Now, sometimes what happens is there could be a difference of opinion between the quality control reviewer and the engagement partner. Possible. So now tell me at your home, okay, when at home, there'll be some kind of difference of opinion between I'm sorry for the disturbance. Okay. So suppose at home, there is going to be some kind of difference of opinion. Okay. So there could be a possibility that you are saying something and your brother is saying something. So there could be a difference there, correct? So in that case, how are you going to resolve this difference? Okay. Will you go to the court or will you go to some third party and talk about it? Or you'll go and talk to the family members and decide? Obviously, family members. Same thing here. So here what is happening, sometimes there could be a difference of opinion between the engagement partners, engagement partner, quality control reviewer, correct? So in that case, maybe the quality control reviewer says something, you are saying something. So there's going to be a mismatch. So in that case, you will discuss this matter with all the other members of the audit firm. And based on that, you'll be taking up the decision. Okay. So this is the way you are going to resolve the matter when there is going to be a difference of opinion. Why difference of opinion could come? Basically, somebody else is reviewing your work. So at the point of review, they could tell you that this is not right, that is not right, and you would have not accepted because ultimately you're also independent. So there could be a possibility that there could be difference of opinion. But that doesn't mean you come up with two different opinions, or you give separate reports, or you go to the court and all. That's not possible. It's all happening internally. So you have to decide this matter amongst the engagement team members, the audit firm, and the audit firm, depending upon their quality control policies. That means what policy and procedures they have in place. Based on that, they'll be able to take a decision and resolve the matter. Correct? And then last part of the topics talk about monitoring. I told you engagement partner only will design the quality control policies, and at the end, he only will be monitoring. So you cannot have something designed and implemented. Monitoring also becomes that much only important. Correct? So that is the part of monitoring the entire engagement team work. Correct? So basically, documentation is basically everything that you do during the quality control. Okay, so you can just have a reading there. You'll clearly understand what you mean by the word documentation. So for one quick recap, I'll just tell you what exactly the standard is telling again. So SA 220 tells what? Quality control. This quality control belongs to the audit firms. Audit firms, when they perform their audit, they are required to maintain the quality standard. And because of this, every firm will have their quality control policies. Quality basically talks about that you have to conduct the audit in accordance with all the professional standards. And that along with that, you'll be able to give appropriate audit report in the given circumstances. If these two things you do, that means you're maintaining the quality. Basically, the engagement partner will be responsible to maintain the quality of the work which is assigned to him. So he will be, there are two procedures given here. One, what the engagement partner will be doing, and what will be the quality control reviewer doing. That is the second part of the topic. First, the engagement partner will be given the leadership responsibility. Second, he has to ensure there are all ethical requirements maintained. Third, independence is what he has to check on. Whenever he's going to assign the engagement team, see that the engagement team is capable enough to work along with the given policies. Then you'll also see whether acceptance and continuation is going to be there. You'll do it as per the required things, that is appropriate measures are taken. And if resources are available, only then you'll be able to accept or continue with the engagement. Never compromise on the quality of the audit that you're performing. Then once all of these things are done, it comes to the performance of the audit. So when the audit is performed, engagement partner is responsible to direct, supervise, and also perform the audit along with them. Then when they are doing the work, you cannot rely on them completely. Every engagement partner will be required to review the work of the engagement team members. Whenever engagement team members come across any difficulty, make sure that the engagement partner actually resolves the matter. If the engagement partner is not in a situation to resolve the matter, engagement partner will talk to all the other partners of the audit firm and resolve the matter in the given circumstances. Then comes the most important part of the topic, which is examination pointer, which talks about engagement quality control review, where the quality of the work performed by the engagement partner will be checked by another partners, or it could be by the third party. This is the practice in the listed companies, where once the engagement partner completes the work and the audit report is ready, they cannot submit it or cannot sign the audit report basically. Okay, cannot date the audit report unless it has been done as a quality control review. So maybe if there are 5 partners, one of them is the engagement partner, any of the 4 partners or maybe 2 or 3 of the partners could review the work before their report has been dated and submitted. So here you will review through the documentation where you will have a discussion with the engagement partner of how he's actually done the work. So you discuss all the significant matters encountered. You will also do one review of the financial statements and the audit report issued. Then see all the information that they have captured and what the information they have captured and the audit report that they have given, then whether they're actually matching or not matching. Then there could be a possibility that there could be difference of opinion between the engagement partner and the quality control reviewer. In that case, what happens is you will go to the other members of the engagement team, the audit firm. You will have the quality controls in place. Depending upon what is there in the quality control, you will resolve the matter. Engagement partner will not only direct the engagement team members and make the policies, but also is required to monitor the policies. See that all the engagement team members are actually adhering with the policies framed for the quality control, and that monitoring is also the responsibility of the engagement partner. Basically, all these procedures that you're performing will also be documented because SA 230 says that whatever we do, we need to document. So quality control, whether you're maintained or not, or you've assured you or not, should be documented. So in the documentation, you will be having all the, if you have any problem with the ethical requirements that you will document, independence requirements you have to check, that you have to document, then acceptance and continuation, what you have checked, that also you have to document. And if suppose the engagement team members have come across any difficulty, how did you give the consultation, that also you will document. Then the engagement quality control reviewer, what he will do, that you have to document, that is the procedure of the engagement quality control review that has been performed. Engagement quality control review has been completed on or before the date of auditor's report. Otherwise, you cannot give only audit report. and the reviewer is not aware of any unresolved matter. That means whatever you know is told to the control reviewer. There should not be anything which is hidden from him. That is the point that is told. One more point for reiteration is that engagement partner will be responsible to ensure that if the entity is required to have a quality control reviewer, he will see whether quality control reviewer is appointed. He will discuss the matters with the quality control reviewer, and he has to not date the audit report until and unless the review is completed. So that also will be the responsibility of the engagement partner. All right. So this standard again becomes important. Quality control review part, be very, very careful. Just one clarification here. There is some concept called as a peer review. Okay, peer review will be conducted by the institute, okay, over the audit firms. So that is not going to be something internal to the organization. That will be conducted by chartered ICAI. ICAI will have an expert panel for this, and this panel will be coming and checking the work of the audit firm. So that is something completely different, which you'll be studying as a part of CA final. So if suppose anybody has a thought in their mind that their peer review and this is same, no. Quality control review is what the firm is doing for itself. Peer review is something which ICAI, to check whether you've actually adhered with the professional standards or not, will be conducted. So that concept is peer review, which is completely different than this quality control review. Quality control review is like, to give simple example, just to connect it, in the companies or in the organizations, we have internal auditor. So this internal auditor, what he does, he will see whether management is doing the work according to the given internal control policies and procedures and all. Everything is done properly inside the organization. So it is a part of the management function only. Management, to ensure that everything is happening correctly, they'll appoint the internal auditor. Same thing, audit firm, whether audit is done correctly or not, whether the quality is maintained or not, they will do the quality control review. So this is not something externally done. It is a very much a part of the internal function. Peer review is something which is happening from the Institute of Chartered Accountants, ICAI. Okay, so be very clear that quality control review and peer review is not the same. Peer review you study as a part of CA final. All right, so that is it with SA 220, quality control for an audit of financial statements.